Hi everyone, this is Brian with bsntech.com again, bringing you the next video on the winemaking using fruit concentrate juice. Today we're going to talk about taking the wine off of the sediment and also stabilizing the wine. Stabilizing the wine means to basically kill off or inhibit all of the current yeast cells that are still active, and this will prevent them from turning any more sugars into alcohol. Now, this is a definite requirement that you need to do before bottling your wine. If you don't do this, it's very possible that the active yeast will cause the pressure inside your bottles or your glass jugs to become so great that it just busts open the bottles. And if you don't want a big mess of grape juice or wine all over your floors. So first of all, we're going to go through and see what sediment is being taken off. All the way down here at the bottom, you can see all of the sediment. It's a different color. And all of that is the dead yeast cells and other additives such as the bentonite that has removed other particles inside the wine. What we're going to need is to use this potassium metabisulfite, metabisulfite, excuse me, and you add 1/4 teaspoon per 6 gallons. And this will add some sulfites into your wine and allow it to age or stay good longer. And the next one is potassium sorbate, which is the actual stabilizer. This you add 1/2 teaspoon per gallon, and this prevents the renewed fermentation. And if you want to add wine conditioner, which is wine sweetening, you have to make sure you add that in as well. Now, we need the same regular materials. You need another carboy or another bottle to put it in. And you need your the siphon and the siphon hose. And we're also going to use our good old hydrometer and turkey baster to take a measurement of where the specific gravity is to show us about what the current alcohol level is. Now, with the fermentation comes a lot of carbon dioxide, so we have to hook up the drill again to our big mixer, and we're going to have to stir the wine, and this will create a lot of foam from all that carbon dioxide that's going to escape. Now, since we're all the way up here, we're not going to put this in until we lower it a little bit, otherwise it's going to explode like a volcano. So you want to make sure that you bring your level down before doing that. Now, last time when we racked up the wine level, we went all the way up to this first little ridge. Now, as you can see, over the period of the past 17 days, this past 17 days is how long it's taken to get to this point, the wine's dropped to this level, and that's from the carbon dioxide and the sugars being turned into the carbon dioxide. So first we're going to go ahead and take the measurement using the specific gravity and the hydrometer and see what that is. Now again, it's very important again that you sanitize everything. We've already pre-sanitized all of our items here, so we didn't have to do that on the video. The wine has really cleared up quite a bit. Now, the frozen concentrate juice that we used again here was white grapes. It has some red raspberry and some apple juice in it. And you can see just how clear that is compared to the previous video that we took. It's much more clear. 0.994. We started at 1.10 specific gravity. Now we're down to 0.994. 0.990 is basically water. So that has the gravity or the weight of water. So after all the sugar has been taken out with the 0.994, we're almost at the gravity or the weight of water. So And now what I want to do before adding these is go ahead and remove some of the wine out of here before we start stirring. Try to get your tube all the way down to the bottom so air does not start to make contact with your wine. And while that's flowing, I'll go ahead and add the potassium metabisulfite. And all you need is 1/4 teaspoon. And next is the potassium sorbate. And this is 1/2 teaspoon per gallon, so we need 2.5 teaspoons total. Alright, that was 10 1/4 teaspoons, which is 2.5 teaspoons of sorbate. And we're going to go ahead and just let this continue to filter on down into the next bottle, and then we'll start stirring it up. Alright, okay, now we're going to go ahead and stir some of the carbon dioxide out. I've got it filled up to about here, so it'll keep the bubbles down to a minimum instead of coming out the top. We've also put in our potassium metabisulfite at 1/4 teaspoon for the 5-gallon batch, and the potassium sorbate at 2.5 teaspoons. Yeah, it's really bubbling up now. If I would have filled it any more than that, it would have been shooting out of the top with all of the carbon dioxide bubbles. Well, we'll continue to stir and add the rest of the wine, and then it's a matter of putting your stopper on the top with the airlock again. And then you'll set it for as long as you'd like for aging. We actually already have some previous wine that we made, and we still have about 2.5 gallons of it left. So we're just going to leave it in this bottle until we're ready for the actual bottling into the glass bottles. So it may be 4 or 5 months before we take it out of this. Now it's a lot better to leave all the wine together to age, and that's called bulk aging. Whereas if you put it in the bottles beforehand and then you let it age in the bottles, each bottle may have a little bit of a different flavor. But that's all. This is stabilizing the wine and mixing to get all the carbon dioxide out, and then we'll just let it age for a little bit. So thanks again for watching. Watch for our next video, which will actually be bottling, and it will be probably a couple months from now before we post that. But I'm, again, Brian with bsntech.com. Thank you.